Welcome back to Sonic 4 Episode 2. So we're still doing White Park. Let's do what is, in my opinion, the worst act in the game. White Park Act 3.
Come on, Tails, we got work to do. I'm sure
Okay.
after a nice park zone we should be A-okay, fine, going off of the rails and everything, as we go into freezing water!
You know, Jova.
And then they died.
You know, Jova, I just realized something. What's with Dimps and the Act 3 of their snow stage being the worst act in the game? This, Sonic Lost World 3DS.
Okay.
It's always a water level.
Okay, to give him credit, I feel like Sonic Advance 2's Ice Mountain... Wait, never mind. That's Sonic Advance 1 I'm thinking of with Ice Mountain. But I feel like Sonic Advance's Ice Mountain was actually a pretty good snow/water stage.
Oh, sure. Well, I was talking about Act 3s, and Sonic Advance doesn't have...
Oh, Act 3.
Sonic Advance... Well, okay, what's the ice level in Sonic Advance 3? I forgot.
I remember exactly what it looks like. I remember everything about it except the name.
Yeah. Alright, Shira, question. Have you gotten to this point?
Yeah, I passed you.
Okay, so
Twinkle Snow. Twinkle Snow.
So Shiroi, I decided I might give you a chance. Do you want to talk about what happens near the end of this stage?
I will say, I'm glad they're actually incredibly generous with the bubbles in this game, because otherwise, I might need a new controller, maybe.
Not just that, Shiroi. Well, okay, I'll start. Okay. Here's the reason why I hate this stage. Not just because it's water, because I don't mind water levels in Sonic games. It's more so because of this gimmick where these robots create these ice block things. Now it doesn't sound okay. You just dodge them, you just move around them. Okay, that's fine. Keep that in mind for when we get to the end of the stage.
Have fun with that.
And Sonic is like, ice is nice, kids.
You on ice?
That's the thing too. I think even Patek and Graf have grown at that line.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest. Knack is the kind of game that. Okay, you know what? I'm not even one of those people who act like Pontap are. Oh, the next closest thing to Satan that happened to Sonic. Because no, they could be good writers. They did not have the best setup. But I'll say this.
Even if they were good writers, calling them Satan is a bit over the top.
Not just that, like, the worst, I will argue that there's actually a game that is undeniably worse written than anything Patek and Graf wrote, which is something...
Monaco 6?
No. Well, okay. No, well, okay, let me rephrase that. A game that goes for the comedic, style of the 2010s, that you know what I'm talking about, right? Free Riders, by far. Free Riders is so garbage. Like every single.
Free Riders had a plot.
Yes, Jova, and trust me, it's not good.
It's the one where Roger Van Der Dime parody.
Not just that. Well, he parodied all of them too. But the point is.
I thought it was just that one.
No, he did all.
Apparently everyone's a dick.
No, that's a thing, Shiroi. Every single character in that game is so horribly out of character. They're all being dicks to each other. It's just.
Eggman.
Well, okay, Eggman aside, he's the villain, though.
well, that's the thing, guys. It is possible to screw up even the villain.
Yeah.
Hey, to be fair, Metal Sonic was in character for that game.
Because he barely has one.
Oh, no.
I disagree.
That is absolute slander there, which we do not tolerate in this house.
He's a robot.
Alright.
So what? Robots tend to have tons
It is
of
existential crisis and god complex.
Dwibs, not for nothing, but you're a Terminator fan. You saw Terminator 2. Like, how can you even be making that argument?
But Metal Sonic isn't Terminator.
How does that even remotely counter my point? Like, if...
How do you know?
Like you've seen plenty of sci-fi movies where robots can be interesting characters, so I don't even understand where the hell you're coming from with that line.
I'm not saying he's horrible or anything. It's just I don't think he has much in the way of personality.
Well, okay.
In that case, slander though, but your reasoning is because he's a robot, which that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, did you notice that? Did you notice that section? If you're too slow, yes, too slow. If you're too slow there, I'm not kidding you. You can actually those seals will make the act unwinnable, and you have to die to get through. I'm not kidding. If you don't progress through that part quick enough, you literally get stuck and you cannot win. I'm not kidding. Like,
considering that happened to me the other day, I can also just say this: there are no bubbles in the in-between bits, so you do have to just get it in one.
Well, Pedro, the theme of the series is going fast.
Well, yeah, but never before has a Sonic game punished you for, being, taking your time, though. Like, that's not really good level design. Anyway, special stage Act 6.
Well, I mean, Pedro, there is a way the game punishes you for taking your time. If you take too long on the stage.
The idol animation, I mean.
Yeah, if you remember the 10-minute time limit.
Okay, so question. Considering you restarted straight away, I'm guessing the ring count is very tight in this one.
If I recall correctly, yes.
Well, we are ascending higher in the stages, aren't we?
I mean, we're that close, I guess.
Well, now you need 150 rings to start off with.
It's not just the increase. Well, actually, to be fair, it's not always just about the next stage needs more than the last or whatnot, because sometimes a future stage needs less rings than the previous one. No, the challenge comes from all the obstacles you have to dodge while getting those rings.
Mm-hmm.
Better or for worse.
Okay, so basically...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you're fine, go on.
Yeah, this particular special stage is easier than special stage 5. It's special, but don't worry, that's what special stage 7 is for. Special stage 7 is... Go ahead, Shuri.
I was just saying, I usually have to retry these quite a bit because I don't have the reaction time for bombs.
Right?
Does this game at least have those sound options to separate, the volume of the music compared to the one of the sound effects?
Yes, you can turn off the music entirely if you want.
Oh, I can do it that way!
Yeah, that was
great!
That's right, there you go.
I feel like almost every game ever.
Unfortunately, I could not do that because, well, I'm trying to record the bloody game, so...
You see, I'm so used to playing Nintendo games where they don't allow you to do that for some reason that I forget it's a function sometimes.
I think, okay, if I remember correctly, I think Zelda and Mario games let you do that. I don't think it's all Nintendo games.
It should be something that should be... That's the thing that bubbles be in general, not necessarily for the example that you're making, because that's one of the most basic things that got introduced even relatively early on with games. So to see that to this very day, not a lot technically, but a couple of games still don't necessarily do that is actually quite humbling.
Now it comes, in my opinion, the best music track in the game.
Oh boy, here we go.
Why are you dreading it, Tio?
Oh, I thought you were going already to all part, sorry, to all his own.
No.
Dwibs was not using his sarcastic tone.
Okay.
This is actually, you're thinking of Loyal Desert Act 2 too. We're not there yet.
That's the same thing.
So there you go.
And now you know why Metal Sonic shows up on Tails' rocket for this.
There you go. We needed to close that loop. Here's a fun fact about the 69 attack pretty much renders Metal Sonic very easy because the 69 attack can even break through him, even if he's using his lightning energy thing.
Because nothing can beat the power of love.
Oh, is that the same logic that got applied to one of the games where the Eggman boss fights are bullshit?
No. Remember, Jova. The strength and bonds of friendship. That's what he says in Forces. Or of course you can use the superpower of teamwork from Heroes.
Yes, we know that's what they're calling it these days.
They just got a fist bump.
There you go.
I like that song.
But I'm surprised. I'm surprised no one I'm surprised no one ever tried to take on the challenge of how many puns can I make a pun out of every single Sonic song title ever?
Pretty sure someone has.
Fun fact, the 69 attack will actually count as 2 hits, so it's actually very I actually do recommend indeed using it. And yeah, this is the part where Metal Sonic starts destroying the stage to try to kill you one hit. That particular bit is kind of a big... I don't really like that particular move because for a beginner is not going to see that coming.
Isn't that the intent? You know, you see something, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'll do this next time.
Yeah, but you have to give the player enough time to... You have to telegraph it so that the player has a chance to dodge it on the first time, though.
I will say this is where I'm at right now because of that.
Yeah.
I don't have the reaction times for this bullshit. And actually, funny thing, I did get past it. Like, I took a break, came back to it.
Oh,
I did get past that part, but you know when you take the spring to go to a new area? Out of impulse, I clicked the jump button, so the spring didn't take me all the way, and at that point, I just switched off the game.
Oops.
Well, why did you jump over the spring?
I didn't jump over the spring. I hit the spring, but I jumped again in the air because Sonic has an air dash.
Okay. Alright, I want to make up something clear. I'm not trying to defend the game just by constantly saying, oh, get good or anything like that.
It sounds, Shiroi, like you played yourself there.
I did, and I got upset.
So, this is like the one time you actually get a stage transition to the next one because you got the sand there.
There it is.
Okay. Memes about the next act aside, I don't really like Oil Desert's music in general at all, to be honest.
It's rough, coarse, irritating, it gets everywhere.
It's just like sand.
It's ugly Planet Wisp.
You know, I'm gonna go chaotic here. I actually like Act 2's music.
Get that chaotic
also,
shit out
we
of here.
needed, apparently, a badnik that is, based on a dung beetle. Again, with the robotic is a bit of a sense of humor, but this would be more like inclined to his Adventure to Sonic the Hedgehog characterization than one of the caves.
Again, dung beetles, we find them in the desert, so...
They're more of a savanna kind of animal, but sure, I guess. I can stretch, I suppose.
So yeah, basically, Oil Desert is basically a mix of Oil Ocean Zone with more desert gimmicks. It's this is the zone of all the zones in this game. This is the one that's just kind of there for me. Like I agree with Johnny. This is a zone that's just kind of there. Like I don't particularly. It's a zone that I never like with White Park and Sylvania Castle. I at the very least remember bits from those zones. This one just kind of blurs by for me every time I play for this game. It's just.
I'm also good on Sky Zone and the Death Egg Zone too. Those are pretty neat.
You mean Sky Fortress?
Sky Fortress.
Sure, Sky Fortress is much better than this one, definitely. Like, it's just that this particular zone, is really just there for me.
It sure is a desert level.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not even just because unlike Dwibs, I don't think a desert killed my dad. So,
No. I don't even mean it's terrible, but desert levels have a history of being scuffed at in the gaming community because, well, for multiple reasons. One thing, desert levels don't often tend to be the most aesthetically pleasing for obvious reasons. Second, for some reason, yes, you definitely helped mix the pot there in a good way. Secondly, desert levels just tend to have a lot of level design tropes that, again, aren't the worst, but it's kind of like you just groan and roll your eyes and deal with it. Kind of like a water level in games, or an ice level, essentially. It's just that game.
The only major gimmick that this zone seems to have is the wind, and as we guys saw through my Super Mario Bros. 2 Japanese run, I don't particularly care for wind in 2D games, so...
Showed me the clip.
I would say though that the wind is at least used much better here than in Super Mario Bros. 2
You
The
have a bit of
Lost
a better way of
Levels.
steering, that means the effects
Wow, being
details.
better than the Lost Levels or something. That's,
Take what you can get, babes.
My point is like, well, the wind mechanic actually is mainly used to your advantage, essentially, as opposed to being constantly used against you, like in Super Mario Bros. 2, The Lost Levels. Why are you...
Pedro, I think Pedro wants to make sure he hits the ring.
Yeah.
Also,
It's actually kind of finicky. You need to get it exactly in the middle. It's not like Sonic 1 where you could just hit it anyway.
It's the problem where, unlike with, okay, to be fair, Sonic 1 did this too. The thing is, that game came out in 1991. You'd think by this point they would have realized that the idea of locking Sonic into moving forward after following the goalpost, even though, you know, you still have to get into the... was not the best idea. Like, but whatever. So, here's the special stage 7. This is the only special stage in the game where that actually requires you to use the boost ability. Yeah, remember that boost ability that the tutorial message established 6 special stages ago? Only now does it come into play. Much like some call me Johnny, I also forgot that I even had it by the time I got to this, my first time I played this game. Because again, you'd think, like typical game design, the game would occasionally have sections that use boosting, maybe even have a little sign saying, oh, boost here, like an icon like this one, like the icon for the tag team thing. But no, like they tell you have a boost, then they don't ask for you to use it at all, but then we get to this final special stage where you have to use it.
Is the game expecting you to at least try it out a few times during the other stages?
I guess, but that's the thing.
There
you go. See, in order to get all the rings in that pipe, you have to boost. But here's the thing. That's the thing, Devs. See, I will argue trying to use the boost in the other special stages is actually detrimental because all it does is make you go faster, which will make it harder to react to where the rings are. So I don't really get the idea. Like if I was the producer of this game, I would have just said, you know what, guys, at this point, might as well just get rid of the boost mechanic altogether if we're barely using it.
Truly, we needed, you know...
Well,
Sorry, go on. No, go on, it was just making a joke anyway.
To be fair, if I recall correctly, you can still use that boost mechanic, even if you don't have to.
Oh, you can.
It does help with you getting stuff done in a quicker moment. I feel like what would have been a good way to remind people about it is if people got, I guess you do still get the time bonus, so...
I guess, but...
This is a really long stage.
I guess, but I don't really care about my score, so... But here's the thing.
No. Remember, though, the time bonus, I think, nets you, like, extra lives or whatnot. And
I
stuff.
guess, but I still don't care.
Truly, in that case, we needed the boost
My thing...
telling us to use the boost.
No, you can use the boost in the other special stages, yes, but like I said, there's no real reason to, because going faster makes it harder to get all the rings because you have less time to react if you're going faster. So I honestly will argue that using the boost in places where it's not required is actually detrimental, because the slower you go, the easier it is to react to the obstacles and the rings and all that shit.
So yeah, now I can get supersonic.
Yeah, it works exactly like in episode 1, so we already know how this works. Moving on.
And we see a Super 69 with him.
No. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a good segue.
Wow, this song is already ass, okay.
I like the song.
Yeah.
I think what's on screen represents it well. Sonic having to accidentally fall into a as large that's falling down.
If you wanna...
Okay, despite me liking the song, I totally get why people don't like it. Like, if your ears are not tuned to enjoy this particular melody with that particular instrumentation, yeah, those can sound like ducks.
Not just that, like... you want to have some fun? Go back to our original playthrough where Tail was also in this, and he started laughing maniacally after hearing this for the first time. So that was fun. So go check that out.
I still think his most iconic maniacal laughter has to be with Bernard's death.
Oh no, that trumps all, of course.
I have two questions while we're at it, because, you know, previous stage we were talking about, you know, Desert Energy Armor or Supersonic.
Alright, enough of this. Come on, Tails, let's go Super.
Yeah, let's keep
Enough
the
of that
level.
song.
Okay.
So I got fed up with the song.
Yeah, here's another problem, by the way. Why is it that using the tag team moves takes you out of Supersonic?
Because you don't need to be super to use the superpower of teamwork.
Yeah, but it's annoying to have to constantly turn back super every time I use a tag team move, though.
Okay. To their credit, I guess some people would call foul, given how during, like, that particular move, you'd be just bleeding out rings, essentially. So, in order to
why not making the ring counter stop while doing those? I think it's a better in terms of programming than tagging you out completely.
It's kind of like that thing, Jova. It's kind of like that thing, Jova, that we keep talking about how, whenever they have the timer go by during cutscenes, it's about, well, the same thing I will argue applies here. If you're concerned about ring costing while doing the timing, well, temporarily stop the ring counter then. Like,
I don't pretend to know all the logistics on what they could or couldn't do in game for this certain stuff. Maybe they could have, maybe they couldn't, maybe they didn't have the time to. Although, from what it seems like they at least got more time proper to give this game some love and care than they did with Episode 1. Well, I'll probably also hope that this one was actually a console game from the ground up, too.
Okay, that's true, I guess, but I failed to realize how that relates to my point.
Hold on. It was to my point that, you know, I wonder if part of the reason that it was the way it was is like it could range just from they could or couldn't, or whatever they could do in the allotted amount of time.
I mean, my problem with that, Job, is that you can use that argument to defend literally anything. Like,
well, again,
I don't
to be
really
fair,
like this track much either.
well, that's the thing, though. We legit don't know the answer in that regard. So, like, yeah, it is pretty much just a game of speculation on that part. It's kind of like how a lot of people got the wrong idea in regards to why we didn't get a Mania 2, because everyone and their mother thought that, oh, Sega dropped the ball with Whitehead's team or whatnot, even though Whitehead has thankfully recently shot that narrative down. Not to mention the fact that that narrative was partly founded by Zippo, you know, that hack of a...
Well, but that's the thing, Jova. Like, we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Well, I can use that to defend the trope become human. Like, it's just like, that argument is kind of a nothing argument, in my opinion.
Well, part of that does come with precedent, because, you know, Detroit Become Human is made by definitely a default bad developer. You do raise a point there, but again, to be fair, there's a reason that in certain cases we're willing to give certain people the benefit of the doubt over others. Like, for example, when it comes to something like, you know, maybe you should just a level 5 game, we're more... You're supposed to use the spin desk.
I love that.
I got it. I got you. I guess that makes sense. But
at least you got an extra life just to do that.
yes. My thing with this particular part, it can be annoying because you have to. Okay, this is of course taken from Sandopolis in Sonic 3, specifically the whole...
Did Sandopolis have a rising sand thing?
Wait, what?
A little bit?
No.
Wait,
I really don't recall Sandopolis.
Remind me. What's the name of the desert level from Sonic 3 and Knuckles? Or Sonic and Knuckles.
That's the one with the ghost.
Yeah. But remember, Joe. But there's bits where you hit this thing in the ceiling and it starts falling sand, and the sand keeps. It starts filling with sand.
Well,
so that is what I'm talking about.
I don't recall it like, you know, filling with sand to the point of trying to kill you, because several Sonic games have some bits with filling with sand.
But that's the thing, Joe. But yes, there's a point where you can, yes, but if you there's actually specific points in those sections if you stay quiet and just let yourself be quiet, which to be fair nobody would ever do, to be fair, but where it can happen. But the thing is, that's better designed definitely, whereas in here you generally have to be quick, super quick, to avoid it. So it's but I can understand that they've got that idea probably from Sandopoulos, they're just using it differently.
Possible.
Oh god, this is still going.
Okay, Tails, let's all keep together here.
This zone is just so boring.
Yes,
Alright,
Joe.
it doesn't help that it has a... Well, when the track isn't grating on my ears, the track itself isn't very exciting either.
Yes,
Hey,
Joe.
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought this wasn't finished yet.
No, I finished.
Again, the two questions that I had before, since we were talking again, first act of this zone, we're talking about, this level 4. Outside of Sonic's Pinball, as far as memory goes, I don't remember, but were there any in particular sewer stages for Sonic?
Yes, Sonic Adventure 1. There's a section in Kazanopoulos that takes place in the sewer.
I completely forgot about that, and I played through that game.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's my fault.
What other sewer levels does Sonic have, Jova? I can't think of any others.
Sewer levels. Hydrosity.
I wouldn't really call hydrosity.
I mean, it's underground,
Is
waterworks,
it more of
and
a
whatnot.
submerged temple?
I don't know. I wouldn't really call that a sewer level, personally.
It works like a sewer, but
What happened,
I
Pedro?
guess there.
When did you restart it?
Because I missed the rings. You see, the thing is, too, one of the things about the boss acts in this game is that they all have at least enough rings so that you can turn into Supersonic. Why? Because this is an achievement for defeating the bosses as Supersonic. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get as many rings as I can so I can turn into Supersonic for the fight.
Okay then.
So anyway, did we already mention Sonic Adventure?
Yeah, Pedro.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I'd say Sonic Adventure 2, but that's technically more a mine than a sewer. Well, actually, Knuckles does come up from the
Yeah, he
sewer.
does come from the sewer, so I guess,
Yeah.
it technically counts as a sewer level then, I guess.
Oh no, Tails can't help it.
Oh, there he is.
Remember,
Alright.
Tails is immortal.
This is a boss battle that I don't really care for this boss battle for a specific reason. One, okay, I don't mind the Tetris vibe they're going for. I do think it goes on for way longer than it needs to, though. And I also
My massive transformation.
behold my amazing transformation, Eggman.
That's the unconnected to the second question that I wanted to make, because that's, again, more
Go ahead.
curiosity and everything. From which game, like, what was the very first game that started to introduce to have the de facto iconic Robotnik / Eggman logo, the one with his face grinning that we see from the old rigs in this stage?
In terms of it grinning, like
Like
That
he
specific logo.
Yeah,
that
that
was the first game that started.
yeah, that logo that has of Eggman's cartoony face on it, Jova. Like, I feel like it's
I think that was
probably
Sonic Adventure.
yeah, I think it was Adventure 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Fun fact as well. One thing that they introduced in this game that I kind of hope that I was hoping Mania would bring back but did not is that hitting the boss with Supersonic counts as 2 hits, which is something that I actually think makes sense, and I think should become a standard because yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he's Supersonic. It makes sense that you'll be able to defeat the boss faster as Super. So yeah, that's actually one thing that I would like to see return.
Okay, this is less. This is really less Tetris and a bit more like Catherine. How the different.
Okay, I got it.
blocks that you
Right, I got
can,
it. Edge. Okay. Fuck.
Well, thanks to the excavator, left arm, I'm getting instead flashbacks to the Automata.
What I recommend doing if you're trying to go for the achievement is don't turn into Supersonic until you get to phase 2.
Also, this robot has a crotch.
It's like there you go. And there we are. I get the feeling this is meant kind of trying to be a reverse of the boss of Carnival Night Act 1, kind of, maybe? There you go. So what you have to do now is, when he's in front of you, you're supposed to use the 69 attack to make him trip. But come on, Eggman.
Standing in front of the camera.
Eggman. Fuck. Well, fine.
Behold, my massive and excellent secret technique, the screen block. Oh no!
Oh, in just one hit and he's done.
Oh, that's because that's because I already gave him all the other hits before. So
True, but I thought again, this being the second phase, it would require a bit more.
no. Well, it depends on it depends on how good it depends on how good you are, Theo. If you're good enough during the first phase, the second phase will be short, basically.
Okay then.
Well, I get the feeling he's gonna be feeling that in the morning.
All right, now we get to what is usually regarded by most people as the best zone in the game, Sky Fortress, because the level design in this game is by far the best of Sonic 4 in its entirety. I kind of wish the entire game had level design like this. Yeah, Sky Fortress Zone, Acts 1 through 3. I'm not entirely certain why they allow you to play the acts out of order, but whatever.
I guess if like you're having a tough time with one zone and want to give another a try.
Alright, everybody, tune in next time where we finish Sonic 4.
See ya.
See you then.